Hello dear students of class 4, welcome back for your science class. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter 8, and the topic is materials and solution. And as you can see, there are so many new words, new terms on the board that I've written, which I'm going to explain one after the other. So kindly follow the video, and you can open the textbook that is on page, you can refer to page number 72. Okay, you already know the term what is material, right? Now let us begin with the new term, that is solution. What do you mean by solution? Solution is a type of a liquid mixture in which two or more substances mix together evenly. Okay, it is a liquid mixture in which two or more substances mixed together. That term is known as solution. Now, to begin with the solution, we have got solution has got two components. They are solute and solvent. Okay, simply like the term, what do you mean by solute? Okay, substance that dissolve. Okay, substance that dissolve in a solvent is known as solute. And what do you mean by solvent? Solvent is a solution. Okay, we can say that solutes. We can also say that substance in which the solute get dissolved is known as solvent. Okay, for example, here our brother salt. Salt is a solvent, and the liquid part, that is water, is a solvent. Salt is a solute and water is a solvent. So in which I am going to mix and stir it. See. And when the salt which I have mixed here in the water, as I will already inform to you that salt is a solute and water is a solvent. When I mix this salt in the water, it becomes a solution. Did you get that? We have already said that solution is a type of liquid mixture in which two substances or more than two substances are mixed. And the term that we got here is solution. And as when we talk about solvent is a substance that gets dissolved, okay, and in which the solvent for the term of solvent, what you can say is substance is in which the solute dissolved is known as solvent. Your salt is a solute and your water is a solvent. And when you mix this two, when I mix this salt in the water, it becomes water solution. Or we can say solid water solution. And here the ability of substance to dissolve is known as solubility. Okay, the ability of substance to dissolve is known as solubility. So you already know the term solution is a type of a liquid mixture in which two or more substances is mixed, and the solute is a substance that dissolve. That dissolve is known as solute. And for this one, solvent, substance in which that solute get dissolved is known as solvent, and the ability of substance to dissolve is known as solubility. So I made a solution of salt water. Okay, the mixture is known as salt water, and here I have used solute as a salt, and your solvent we have used as a water, and the ability of a salt that get mixed in the water is known as solubility. The ability of the salt to get dissolved in the water is known as solubility. So hope you understood you are clear with the term, right? So now what is soluble substance? Soluble substance or substances are those which has a ability to dissolve in a liquid or in other solvent. Okay. For example, I've seen you the demo of that. Here, salt is soluble in water, as salt can dissolve in water. So the examples which we can use is, for example, sugar, salt, coffee, turmeric powder, and soap. This all can dissolve. Okay. Here we can use the term is soluble substance are those substances that dissolve completely in a water or any other solvent to form a solution. So just now I made a water and mix. I've already given example. Salt, sugar, coffee, they completely dissolve in water. So this type of solvents, this type of solute, okay, are known as soluble substance. Okay, soluble substance that dissolve completely in a liquid or in a solvent is known as soluble substance. And here, miscible liquid. For a liquid, a miscible liquid, what you can say is that, for example, milk and alcohol are a liquid that dissolve in water, and when two liquids dissolve completely, they are called miscible liquid. For example, milk and water, if you mix together, they dissolve completely, and this solution is known as to be as a miscible liquid. And some of the gases such as oxygen, carbon dioxide, and chlorine, they completely dissolve in water. Okay, and for the term insoluble substance. Insoluble substance are the substance that does not get mixed. They does not dissolve in water. For example, we can say I brought a sand. Okay, sand, wood. There are more examples. For example, sand, stone, flour, wax, and even a chalk. The powder of the chalk, they doesn't dissolve in water. For example, you can see if you break this chalk, and if I make it a powder of the chalk, and if I mix it in the water, it doesn't dissolve at all. For example, I have already demonstration I've already given for the soluble substance. Here the sugar or salt that dissolves completely. But when I take when I mix this sand with the straws, okay, if I mix with the water, and after when I stir it, see, it does not get mixed or dissolved in the water. So this kind of substance are known as insoluble substance because they are not soluble in water. This type of substance it doesn't dissolve or get mixed with the water. And the term here is immiscible liquids. The liquids that does not get dissolved or mixed with the water. For example, if I take a cup of water, if I pour a kerosene oil or whatever the oil, the mustard oil, you can see that the lighter part of the liquid, it comes up, okay, because the liquid, even the alcohol liquid such as kerosene oil, you can see the oily part will be at the top of the at the top of the cup. Okay, it will be as the water settles down and all the light liquids, they float above the surface in the glass or in the mixture that you make. So this type of liquid which does not get mixed with the liquid that does not get mixed with the water is known as immiscible liquid. So as we have already known, so yes, these are the terms which you have to know. Okay, as we have already cleared the term with the soluble substance, right? And miscible liquid, insoluble substance, immiscible liquid, and in some cases some of the gases like hydrogen, nitrogen and helium, they are insoluble in water. They does not get dissolved or does not get completely mixed with the water. So these are the gases that they are insoluble in water. As we have already mixed, as we have already known this many terms, there are so many methods. There are not so many. There are methods of separating of soluble and insoluble substances. These methods are, the process are this as follows: sedimentation, decantation and filtration. This method is used for the separating insoluble substances. And you already know the insoluble substance examples, like insoluble substances or examples of insoluble substances. For example, sand, stone, the chalks powder, etc. They doesn't get dissolved. They are insoluble in water. For that, what you have to do is, first of all, when I say sedimentation is a process. You can see here. Sedimentation is a process in which here the insoluble substance is allowed to settle down in the container. Okay, when this heavier part, the heavier insoluble substances that which you have used is mud, it does settle down here. Without disturbing it, when you allow it for a timing, if you allow it to settle for after a few moments, okay, after making this solution, when you allow this insoluble substance to settle down, this process is known as sedimentation. And you can clearly see here the mud which I have used, it has settled down, and you can see the portion here. Slowly the water is getting clear. And the other process of separating insoluble substance, that is decantation. Decantation, here I am going to remove the straws. Okay, this is not okay. Afterwards we need it, but here for the second process of separating insoluble substance, that is decantation, is the process of pouring the clear water. Okay, separating the clear water with the, though it is not clear here, it takes time. We have to keep her at least for half an hour. What happens? The upper portion, it becomes the water. Once the insoluble substance gets settled down, then what happens? The upper portion, the water becomes clear. And then you have to use the second method, that is decantation. Pouring of the clean water, the water that above, okay, the below, it's a settlement, okay, the insoluble substance, it gets settled down, and you have to pour gently. You have to pour without shaking or without disturbing it. You have to pour it, and you will get the clear water. This is also second process of separating insoluble substance, okay, from the water. And the third process is a filtration. Here I have not brought the filter paper, but you have already seen in the kitchen the filter which we use especially while making a tea. Okay, separating the tea leaves from the solution. Okay, separating the tea leaves. We don't eat tea leaves. Okay, we just boil, we get the flavor, or we'll just make a tea. After that, we separate the tea leaf from the water or from the mixture. Here, with the help of this filter, I'm going to pour the water here, which I'm going to show you later. What happens after when you filter it? All the insoluble substance remains in the filter. You have seen, no? As your mother while preparing a tea, the insoluble substance, it remains in the filter. And the other process also you can do it is, in order to make it very clean filtration, you can use a filter paper. And we have got other method, that is evaporation. Evaporation is a method which is mainly used for the soluble substances. For example, if you mix sugar or salt, okay, in a water, say you have mixed a salt in a water, what you have to do is you have to use the process of heating. After a certain period of time, what happens? The water gets evaporated and all those soluble substance will remain in the container. So these are the various process or method of separating soluble. For soluble you have got sedimentation, decantation and filtration. And for the insoluble you have to use a sedimentation, decantation and filtration. And for the soluble substances, what you have to use is the method of evaporation. So this, alright my children, so these are the new terms in this chapter which you have to be very familiar with that, okay? As we have already discussed about this, the term, and we have clearly explained about it. So what you do is just refer to page number 72. There are lots of examples, illustrations, okay? And the experiment you can do at home, but in presence of your guardians or your parents, okay? So till then, take care and thank you.